Hey, so we are live. For some reason, all of my live streams are very impromptu. I got a recommendation from YouTube the other day that I should schedule my live streams in advance and tell my audience, but clearly that's not happening. Um, I thought since I'm back home for winter break, I would just end off 2021 with a random live stream. Um, no specific reason. If y'all have like questions, feel free to ask. If you all are still working on your college applications, which is really likely because it's like regular decision applications are due in 4 days, I think, Jan 1st. So obviously ask. But I want to start by asking you all, how has the past year been for you? I will share. The past year has been weird. I think everyone started 2021 thinking, oh, like this is going to be the year of recovery after the pandemic. And it kind of started that way because our school reopened, but definitely was not because we all remember how bad the second wave was. But I hope 2022 is not going to be another third wave year. Let's see. Are you in India? Yes, I am. I am in my childhood bedroom. It's very pink and purple and blue. Yeah, I basically decorated this room when I was 6, and I never redecorated it since. And we have now lived in this house for maybe 12 years. I love it. So stressful because of college apps. Yeah, that was also that was 2020 for me. Except it was college apps, IB, a pandemic. I was really glad when I got my results in December itself because that meant that I could leave all of my college application stuff behind in 2020, and then I never had to think about college applications again in 2021. But if you guys are still doing regular applications, just it'll be over soon. So stressful because of procrastination. It's honestly a lot easier to procrastinate when everything's online. But I hope that, by the way, let me know in the comments, are things opening back up for you guys? So like, have your schools reopened? Has your social life kind of resumed to normal? I would love to know. For me, obviously, it's been weird because when I left at the time that I left for college, it was like still pretty COVID-y. But then obviously, like college seemed like a return to normalcy, minus a few masks. Like COVID, the sort of perception around COVID in the US is very different. And then coming back has been normal. I think it's starting to get less normal as we see the new variant, but I'd love to know how it's going for you guys. There is so much uncertainty. I agree. Yeah, maybe if there's one thing this pandemic has taught us is how to deal with uncertainty, which might be the thing. Someone asks, can I apply more than one university? Early decision, no. How to get rid of procrastination? Well, I'll let you know when I figure it out. Just it's a lot easier like if you're actually looking forward to the things that you're doing. But if there's like a really unpleasant task that you don't want to do, just maybe like getting together with another person and doing it, that might help. Honestly, there's no simple answer. It also helps to be like getting enough sleep and food. That helps me be less distracted. Our schools did open, but no one ever goes. That has been happening. I don't know. I think when our school reopened, like most of the older students went, but then I know a lot of parents that hasn't about sending younger kids because they don't wear masks properly and stuff, which is fair. I mean, but I think that if you're in 11th or 12th, like I hope that people are showing up to school because one, like it helps with in-person learning, but two, also these are your last years of school. Like if it's open and if like it's safe enough, I hope people are able to go. The other thing that was nice about my old school, Stoner, was that they have such a big campus that they were actually able to social distance a like fairly good number of us. Um, yeah, so it helps to have a school with just a lot of physical space. I think that was just a lucky thing. Um, do you think being all-rounded is better or having a spike? Definitely having a spike, but then it doesn't have to be like some specific, you know, like subject or something. It can just be a quality about you. Like your creativity could be your spike. It like the definition of a spike is very vague, but definitely there should be something worth remembering about your college application, and hopefully that something can be summed up in a sentence or less. So admissions officers, like once they've read maybe 600 applications, like they actually remember yours, you know? Um, okay, YouTube YTT Fox has applying to Dartmouth's regular decision. Would you say it's value for money? Absolutely don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I don't think I'll qualify for financial aid. That's fair. Um, yeah, honestly, if you don't think you'll qualify for financial aid, you probably won't. Like, just assume that. Um, do I think it's worth $80,000 a year? Depends. Is that like money that could go to another thing, or is it like spare money? I don't know. I don't think I would like pay that much. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a great college. I just don't know how to compare the value of that much because it's a difficult thing. I guess I mean probably like other people are more qualified to make a statement for it. I don't know. Um Okay, can I, VS says, can I get into an Ivy League without going into summer school? Yeah, for sure. Most people like there didn't go to summer schools. Or like, I mean, if you go to the really prestigious ones, it really helps, like MIT, RSI, or like TASP, but those are free. And those are like really difficult to get into. I think TASP has a 2 or 3% acceptance rate. I was rejected from it. MIT, RSI has a 5%. I didn't bother applying. Um, yeah, but apart from that, I don't think summer programs even help your application. I mean, it's nice if you want to show interest, but it's not the end all be all. End all be all. I really want to know from a Dartmouth student, so I'm just asking you. See, the reason I don't know how to answer that because just I'm not in that situation. Dartmouth is a great college. You probably have an amazing time. Do I think you could get like a good quality education for cheaper? Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I love Dartmouth. It depends on like a lot of other factors than how good Dartmouth is, I think. Um, okay. Um, VS also asks, is Harvard hard to get into? I mean, there's a 3-4% acceptance rate, not answer that. Luke says, you're beautiful. Thank you. That's really sweet. Anyways, how's Dartmouth, by the way? Dartmouth is great. Excited to go back a little. So, like, cases in the US are really bad right now. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the news, but it's like India's second wave level right now. Like local hospitals in Hanover are kind of at full capacity, I think, or so I read in some news article. So Dartmouth has kind of changed their policy. So classes will be in person again with like the indoor mask requirement that we had last term. But they've decided to shut down the dining halls for in-person meals. You can only take out your meals, which kind of sucks because a lot of the social scene is like around food, you know. You get meals with friends or groups of friends. That's like the fixed social interaction in your day. So, and then they've also canceled all in-person social events. That includes like parties, clubs. The only thing that's like in-person is research and labs, which I am doing a little bit of next term. But yeah, I'm not sure what Dartmouth is going to look like next term. So it'll be interesting to see. They've also said that like they will offer outdoor recreational opportunities because all indoor like in-person social events are cancelled. And in previous years, they've done a lot of like free ice skating rentals, because obviously everything's frozen, and like ski lessons and stuff. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't freeze. Um, Wow, a lot of comments just appeared in the time that I was talking. Okay, Vivek says, hello, I got deferred from Harvard. Is it a good sign? Yes, it is a really good sign. I mean, Harvard is generally known to defer a lot of applicants. Like schools like Stanford defer way less, but it's still a good sign, like that they didn't reject you. Like that means you're definitely qualified. I think it's just they want to like see what other applications come in, but it's a very good sign. Like I would be happy with that if it was me. Sasmita says, I was deferred from Harvard. What to do? Okay, so I I will redirect you to like Shaurya has a great video about what to do if you're deferred because he himself was deferred in the garden, which is really rare. So that has some great advice. I would like go watch that. Also, just like keep up with what you're doing. So like don't completely slack off on all of your extracurriculars and have a huge dip in your grades. because you'll want to update them with like new school reports or like new achievements in the next few months so that they can hopefully get you off like the deferral list and into the accepted list. So definitely keep working on things. Okay. Sarah says, hello. Hi. I'm trying to pick some good questions. Okay, Nikita says, can I get my scholarship increased? I am admitted to Michigan State University. So it really depends if it's merit-based or need-based. If it's merit-based, probably not, because they've evaluated merit and that's it. With need-based, if there's like more information that you want to give them, you can definitely email them with any updates about like changes in assets, anything else. Also, if it's need-based, if you have a different offer from another need-based school, and you give that's like for more money and you show that to another school, like oftentimes they will match that offer. I know people who've successfully managed to do that. So but I'm guessing since you applied early that you don't maybe like didn't apply to a lot of schools early too, so not sure, but like you can negotiate if you have multiple offers. Okay. Urjit says, do the top unis look at your score with respect to your class or the percentage-based GPA conversion? Honestly, most like admissions committees don't convert your like high school transcript to a standard American GPA. So they just look at it in the context of your school, and like your school sends them a report with average grades over the years, and kind of your recommendation will give them an idea of like where in the class you stand. So it's definitely all contextual. Ujjwal says, I don't really have a spike. Wow, these are like a lot of college application questions. I hopped on here just hoping to chat, but okay. I don't have a spike. What are my chances for top unis? I'm not sure. Like, are you sure that you don't have a spike? There must be something that's worth remembering about your application. LMAO says, hey Nitya, I'm applying next year, but due to financial reasons, the chances aren't too great. It feels really great to see you living your dreams. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year to you too, guys. Also, I mean, yeah, I know that financial reasons decrease your chance of getting in, but I would say just don't let that be a mental barrier to applying and giving it your best shot. I think if you yourself are sort of in the mindset that this is unfair and this decreases my chances, that is just going to harm you in the long run, you know? And I think it helps to see so many people just get in despite needing financial aid. And there is definitely lots. Like you don't even have to look for specific people. I think if you look at any of the top universities, the statistics will tell you a lot about how much financial aid they give out. Sai says, which need-based school is the best for CS? I don't know. You would have to look at the rankings. I mean, Stanford's kind of famous, MIT's kind of famous, Harvard's famous for everything. And that's just in the US. I mean, there's so many colleges out there. Look at the rankings in your personal goals. Jinda says, did you prepare for JE? No, I did not. My only kind of like, I just watched Kota Factory, which I was like, I'm glad I did not prepare for JE. That's a great show too, by the way. Comment if you've watched that and liked it. Avi says, sorry to add to the study of application questions, but did you link your research in the additional info, or did you just describe it in depth? I did neither because it was an ongoing project, so I wasn't allowed to do either. Yeah, I just like literally all about that was where my research was just like a line in my comment app saying under this person, this field, and then in my essay there was a little bit about like the process, but could not give any details. Panda says, is it too late to send out additional score reports to universities? What do you mean by additional score reports? Brinda also asks, this is actually a good question. Which backup did you keep in India? So I was going to apply to Ashoka. I was going to apply to Plaksha, which is a great university. I did their summer program and really liked it, but that was it. Yeah, I didn't really want to go to Ashoka because I just didn't feel like it was a great fit for me. But Plaksha would have been my like solid backup that I would have like been fine with going to. So I don't know much about like MSL master's applications. so I can't answer questions, but I will direct you to. So my friend's cousin runs a company called Gradvine. That is great. I don't know why I'm promoting them. It's not like this is sponsored or anything. But yeah, it's called Gradvine. They're really good. They have great results, and you can do a free call with them. Okay. Prerna says, how did you convince your parents to allow you to go to USA for undergraduate? Honestly, they didn't need that much they didn't need anything in the way of convincing. They were fine with it. I think their main concern was, well, I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but I think some of some concerns would include things like cost, which, once you explain financial aid becomes a little bit less. And then the other thing is just you're so young, especially I think, I mean, in my experience, this is different for girls and guys, but there's definitely a little bit of if you're because it's undergraduate, you're just 18, 17, you're definitely very young. And so they kind of feel that distance, which is very understandable. Yeah, honestly, you just gotta, if you're a responsible kid, if you've never done anything to make your parents question that you're responsible and can semi look after yourself, I don't think it's at least for me, it wasn't a problem or anything. How's Dartmouth? Avi says, how's Dartmouth campus life? It's great. Also, how cold it is. Is it right now? I'm really concerned. So I'm in India right now. I will let you know if I'm frozen once I go back. It gets cold. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I hear my friends complaining about 15-degree weather in California, I'm like, I should have applied to Stanford. But just the East Coast in general is cold. I mean, I don't think weather should be a factor in not applying to your dream university. I don't know. I intend to fully enjoy myself and make the most of it. I'm definitely not gonna live in a cold place after I graduate, so I might as well ice skate and ski and have snowball fights while I can. But I will answer that once I get back and experience a full Hanover winter. Kanak says, whom should I ask to edit my essays? I edited quite a few in the summer when I was free. Now I'm just way too busy. I still get requests, but I cannot take them. I would go. I'm trying to remember the name of the like website. I think it's called College Wine or something, where you can get your essays peer edited. Just to, be careful though, because if you're sharing your essay with a peer, there's a small chance of plagiarism. Maybe get your parents' English teacher to edit it a little bit. Communities like Beam Community offers mentorship with current college students. So there you can find people to help you out. It just also you don't have to have someone edit your essay. You could just have show it to someone and ask for their honest opinion and then make the edits yourself. I'm not a big fan of others changing words for me. I definitely prefer that way. But yeah, those are probably the best options. Niranjan says, do you think it's a bad decision to transfer to a different school in 12th grade? Will it affect in any way? I imagine that would be really difficult because you would have to have all your transcripts sent over. Your teachers at your new school probably wouldn't know you that much, which is fine. You can get a recommendation from someone who taught you in 11th grade. But I just imagine that would be difficult in a lot of ways, just, socially, with academics, you'd have to adjust to maybe they're not at the same pace in their curriculum. I don't know. I mean, if you have to, I'm sure you'll be fine. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that someone switch schools in 12th grade. I just imagine that'd be very difficult. Sivadi says, you were a great artist. I love your art profile. Thank you. Sai says, may I know where we can find college counselors if we don't have one in our school? I literally have a whole section of a video about this. So just go watch that. Brinda says, as an undergraduate aspiring for a US, how much is the personal expense for a college? Okay, good question. Actually, I was going to make an early Abdal style video called how much I spend in a week as a college student, but then I kind of realized that was cringe. Also, my spending is very irregular. I assume by personal expenses, you mean, so the fixed cost that my family pays for essentially, apart from tuition, is my room and board, the meal plan, And yeah, actually, that's it. The room and board and meal plan. But excluding that, what things do you have to pay for, like that are not kind of billed by the college? Um, Phone plans, really expensive. Like how much you would pay for a good phone plan in a year in India is how much I pay per month in the US, which is a lot. And I'm not even on an unlimited plan there. I get like 5 GB of data a month, which is sufficient. So phone plan, that's like $30 a month for me. Honestly, what else? Like the first time you go there, you have to buy stuff, and you have to buy winter stuff, which can like cost somewhere between $300 to $400 if you're buying things from scratch. Like because you have to buy boots, jackets. I was just telling like an incoming Dartmouth student who reached out to me on Instagram about this yesterday, and like breaking down all the prices for different things, and it comes up to a lot. And then you have to buy things like bedding and all of that. But apart from that, honestly, you can choose to spend nothing. Because like I eat out maybe once in 2 weeks, and that's like $20. And then I like shop once in a while for clothes, which is like, it really depends. You don't really have things that you have to spend. Um, yeah, good question. Ekjot says, from 1 to 10, how hard is IB? Doing IB in a pandemic, 9. IB by itself, I think, would be maybe a 6 or a 5. Hian says, if you would have went to GIS instead of SIS, this is such a good question. Do you think that you would have still grabbed admission in Dartmouth? I don't know. Like GIS had definitely had like more of a track record with IVs because they had students from like UPenn and some of the other ones. Not any of the big three, but other ones. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's hard to tell. Like how much of a role did Stonewall play in my admission? Like a significant amount, but is it like irreplaceable by another school? I'm I'm inclined to say no, but it's hard to know. I'm glad that I went to Stonewall though. I think I didn't want to move to another country when I was 15. If I'm being honest with myself, I did not want to do that. Okay, Sri Lakshmi says, how did you manage to get good grades and participate in extracurriculars at the same time? I'm having a hard time managing both. I have a video on time management. Check it out. Okay, Urjit says, if we have 3 interests and if we pursue them all at a really international or national level, no, that would absolutely increase your chances of getting in. That's a great idea. Honestly, the other like 7 slots might be filled up with things that you just do for fun, but honestly, even if you only fill in like 8 out of 10 slots for extracurriculars in the Common App, it's fine. Like colleges have literally said themselves that it's fine. Like you don't need to feel pressure to fill in all 10. That being said, most people I know like went over because they had like little things that they did like here and there, and they just went and filled them all, which is also a bad idea. Don't set them like a list of like 50 activities, but like most people I know have ended up filling in 10. Like, not all of them are significant or huge. Like, maybe 1 or 2 of them are really big, and then the others are just like sparse. Okay, Nikhil says, I have a 1400 on the SAT. Should I apply test optional to Dartmouth regular decision? I don't know. What is the median score for Dartmouth? If it's below that, 1400. Well, I know people at Dartmouth who got in like with like 1300s, but some of them didn't even submit their score. They were test optional. It really depends. Like, I don't think a 1400 would really impress the admissions officers, but I don't think it would like hurt your application either. Again, that's just what I think. I don't know. I would say look up what the median is. If it's below that, then maybe consider not sending it. Oh wow, this person has spammed this question a billion times. If I'd seen it, that would... it's fine. Ansh says, how much do high school scores matter compared to SAT at AP? I would say like same weightage. Okay, Brinda says, can you give approx figures in dollars for daily things? Maybe sometimes a bus or party once a month, like $300 for average expenses. So parties at Dartmouth are actually free. I'm not sure, like if you're in a sorority or a frat, it costs like I'm not sure what the dues are, but definitely costs money to be in those. I don't know because we're not allowed to rush as a freshman. Yeah, so like I said, winter clothing definitely costs like $300 to $400 the first time you go there. I would say like furnishing my room and everything, like bedding and all of those like one-time expenses that you have to buy, like hangers and like closet organizers and boxes and all of that. That probably cost me like I want to say $200 to $200. like stationery and all that, like general college shopping stuff. And then honestly, like I spent like maybe $100 this term eating out because I ate out 5 times and that was $20 each. And then I went shopping for clothes a bunch and I spent like $100 in that. And then most of the money I spent was towards the end because I was getting things for my family and a couple things for myself. Like I bought a kettle, which is included in those one-time expenses. So yeah. If you want figures, that's okay. Ali says, is SAT optional for Dartmouth and what is the chance to get in? I think SAT is optional this year too. Niranjan says, SAT in 12th due to circumstances. Yeah, sure, you can do it. Just like get it over with early. Niranjan, oh wait, this is not, different question. Avi says, how accepting is college culture for international Indians? I mean, half the people like you meet, like there's a lot of Indian Americans on campus too. I've like there's quite a few international students from India at Dartmouth too, actually. I mean, I found it very like easy to make friends and mingle. Like it just depends on what kind of person you are and like how easily you can make friends. I would say there's again depending like you can't categorize Indian students as being of one type because like within India there are so many cultures. So depending on like how much of like what kind of family you grew up in, you might have more or less of a culture shock. It really depends. Like you just cannot characterize Indian students into one. Um, okay. Nathan asks me, what are your views on crashing an inflated US economy? I have no idea. I have no understanding of economics. Like, I don't know why you would think that I was qualified to answer that question, but I don't even know what some of those words mean. Sabari says, did you collaborate with Avanti? No. So she earlier planned to come over to Dartmouth. We figured out a date. Then she ended up not being able to come. Then I planned to go to Boston. Then I ended up not being able to go. And then we just were like, it's fine. We'll meet at some other point. Okay. Sai says, what are the things that a student should do after landing in USA? Get a phone, get a bank account. Maybe like furnish your dorm room. That's pretty much it. My laptop's running out of battery. I only planned for this to be like a very short live stream, but I will take a few more questions. Ayush says, please making vlogs. Yeah, so I've edited some of my vlogs and I was about to post them. Then I sort of thought that some of these are a little bit cringe. I will start posting them. Maybe just give me a second. Okay, my laptop's now charging. Sri Lakshmi asks, which coding languages were you familiar with throughout high school? Just Java, a little bit of Python. And obviously like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I'm now learning React. Well, now kind of relearning React in a more in a better way, I hope. Okay. I am looking for some good questions. Ansh says, I'm a national record holder. Would this add something to my extracurriculars? In what are you a national record holder? I would love to know. Actually, that sounds super interesting. Probably if it's something like very unique. Colleges really look favorably on like unique talents. I think there's this like guy in our building who's the 9th fastest speed walker in the country. It was like a thing. It was going around, and I was like, wow, that's really interesting and unique. Yeah, another really interesting moment in my dorm was when one of the guys on my floor, who's a tennis player, lost a match and broke his racket in half, literally snapped it in half, and left it in the common room as a souvenir. Yeah, you find very entertaining people there. Nathan said, I asked about the crashing economy because since you have your career prospects in mind, I just wanted to know what you would do because if the economy is dead, no job is going to pay well. Wow, that's very cynical. I just don't think about that. I just take one day at a time and I'm just trying to do well in my exams and learn interesting things and be a good person. Wow, that's very fun into the future. Soham says, just submitted my Dartmouth app. Congratulations. Honestly, I'm really proud that it's 27th of December and you submitted your application. Because some of you might know this story, but I actually submitted mine like on the deadline 5 minutes late. And they still took it. Bless Dartmouth, everyone. Comment bless Dartmouth. Okay, I think Marisha says, why did you go for the September intake? In US undergraduate, there's only one like intake, which is September. Abhi says, opinion on a personal website to showcase written work and projects and pictures of events I've won or been at. Great idea. A lot of people have that. A lot of people link it in additional info. Just make sure it's like really concise because I'm not sure if admissions officers will have a lot of time to look at it. But it's great just in general to have a personal website. Ansh says, when I was 6, I memorized the capitals, currencies, languages, and all of the geographic information of the registered countries in the world. Wow, that's really amazing. But also, I'm not sure if something you did when you were 6 counts in college applications. It's probably a good thing to mention. Like, it's definitely very unique and interesting. You might want to build on that, like, now and how that relates to who you are now. Because, like, they generally don't recommend that you mention stuff from before, like, high school or definitely before middle school. But I think if you might be able to build on it in an interesting way. Again, I don't know. That was totally cool though. Okay. Is it good to change my board from ICSE to IB for 11th grade? 2 whole videos about this. And I think that is it for this live stream. I did plan to do 30 minutes and 30 minutes are up. I hope you all have an amazing year ahead. I wish you all good luck with your regular session applications. I know probably the people that are working on their applications right now aren't watching this, but just putting good luck and best wishes out there in the universe for you anyways. Have an amazing new year. I might upload a couple more times before 2022, but I will see you all in 2022 with some brand new videos. Finally start vlogging. Yeah, I can't wait to see where this YouTube channel goes. And actually, it's funny because I'm leaving, like I'm flying back on Jan 1st. So it's kind of like New Year, going straight back into college. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Good night, good luck, and I'll see you soon. Bye.